Freddie Mercury's story began far from the stadiums and flashing lights that later defined him. Born Farik Bulsar in Stone Town, Zanzibar in 1946, he grew up in a home overlooking the sea, surrounded by African, Arab, Indian and British influences. His parents, Bomi and Ja, were Parsi Indians who practiced Zoroastrian traditions, so his childhood blended ancient rituals with the sounds of church bells and the bustle of Zanzibar's port. Music found him early. His mother sang Bollywood melodies around the house, and even before he owned a real instrument, he tapped out rhythms on tables. A toy piano gifted to him at 7 opened the door to a world he would never leave, filling his imagination with the rhythms of Swahili chants, island hymns, and the eclectic sounds of the streets around him. When he was 4, he started at a missionary school in Zanzibar, but at 8 he was sent to St. Peter's School in Panchugni, India. Life there was strict, and the young boy wrote homesick letters to his parents, but the school also revealed his talent. He joined a band called the Hectics, took piano seriously, and discovered the expansiveness of his voice. He earned grade 4 marks in music and impressed teachers with his unusual range. At the same time, he explored sports and briefly shone in cricket before becoming table tennis champion at 10. Records by Cliff Richard and Elvis Presley filled his room, shaping the early outlines of the performer he would become. An accident during a school boxing match worsened his protruding teeth, causing lasting pain and giving him the slight lisp that made him self-conscious. Doctors offered corrective surgery for years, but he refused, convinced the structure of his mouth helped create his unique vocal power. While still in India, he quietly rebelled by eating non-vegetarian street food, breaking Zoroastrian dietary rules. That small defiance taught him how to live privately and independently. In 1964, the Zanzibar Revolution forced the Bulsaras to flee overnight, sailing to England with only suitcases. The violence they escaped left a deep impression on Freddie, one he later disguised behind dramatic imagery in songs like Killer Queen. Settling in Middlesex, he anglicized his name to Freddie to blend in and worked small jobs, including baggage handling at Heathrow. Anti-Asian sentiment was rising in England, so he often hid his heritage. Still, he created music in secret, scribbling melodies under his pillow. He enrolled at Isleworth Polytechnic in 1964 to study art and design, producing bold paintings that drew from memories of Zanzibar. Conflicts with teachers, partly caused by his daring, often sensual self-portraits, pushed him to leave early and pursue music more seriously. Through friends, he joined and formed bands with short lifespans. In 1967, he led a blues rock group called Wreckage, channeling the trauma of displacement into fierce, emotional performances. But the band dissolved within 2 years. During this time, a romantic scandal involving a male student forced him to switch schools after gossip spread rapidly. It became one of the early moments that shaped his fiercely private approach to identity. His first real stage experience came in 1969 with Ibex, performing in smoky pubs across northern England. He shocked audiences with sudden costume changes and theatrical movements. When that band collapsed, he lived in cramped squats in West Kensington, surviving on tiny earnings from graphic design jobs, and writing some of his earliest emotional songs. Attempts to join other bands failed, sometimes painfully. A disastrous affair with a bassist in 1971 led to his dismissal from the group Grand Hotel, and the heartbreak pushed him into a period of depression. But he kept moving, reinventing himself with a new look and a new legal name, Freddie Mercury. Everything shifted in 1970 when he joined Brian May and Roger Taylor, whose band Smile had just lost its lead singer. Freddie insisted on renaming the band Queen, believing the word captured both elegance and audacity. Their first show together that June hinted at the power they would later unleash. John Deacon joined in 1971, completing the classic lineup. Freddie designed the band's crest using their zodiac signs, a symbol he treated like a protective charm. Queen's first album in 1973 cost £5,000 to make, half from Freddie's savings. It received modest attention until Radio 1 aired 7 Seas of Rye. Rising fame came with strain. Freddie collapsed from exhaustion and vocal cord damage, and doctors warned him repeatedly. But he pushed forward, even as tensions inside the band rose. He fought producers for creative control, insisted on ambitious harmonies, and constantly tried to expand their sound. Scandals followed him. A German model leaked compromising photos in 1974, prompting him to quietly pay to bury the story. Still, he poured himself into the studio, creating elaborate tracks like the Fairy Feller's Masterstroke, built from over 160 overdubs. Health problems continued, but his creativity only grew. Then came the creation of Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975. With only a 24-track machine, Freddie and the band layered more than 180 vocal parts and stitched tape together by hand. Influences from Freddie's Zoroastrian upbringing and Indian musical memory hid in the opera section. EMI executives said the track was too long and strange. Freddie insisted it be released. It became a global phenomenon, its music video transforming how the industry promoted songs. Behind the success, a session musician stole vocal stems and attempted blackmail, and Freddie paid to keep the material private. Freddie's personal life grew more complicated as Queen's fame exploded. He drifted into Munich's nightlife, throwing extravagant parties that became legendary for their excess. His long-term relationship with Mary Austin ended when he told her he was bisexual, yet she remained the closest person in his life. He bought her a home that later became central to his legacy. His nights out inspired songs like Don't Stop Me Now, which reflected his pursuit of pleasure and freedom. Financial troubles surfaced when he lost money on an investment in Zanzibar, forcing him to quietly sell art to cover the loss. Public controversies continued, including an infamous moment in 1981 when he mooned a heckler during a concert. He began therapy afterward, recognizing the pressure of hiding so much about himself. In the mid-1980s, he created his solo album Mr. Bad Guy, and later collaborated with Montserrat Cabal on Barcelona, blending opera and pop in ways no one expected. But by 1987, he was diagnosed with HIV. He kept it private, working through pain and illness while recording with Queen. Lesions appeared, and his strength declined, yet he continued performing and recording with remarkable determination. During sessions for The Miracle, he sometimes worked from a wheelchair but remained fiercely committed. Freddie died on November 24, 1991, from bronchial pneumonia brought on by AIDS. The day before, he confirmed his diagnosis publicly. Mary Austin and his partner Jim Hutton were with him until the end. Mary later scattered his ashes in a secret place he requested. The following year's tribute concert raised millions for AIDS charities, and though scandals briefly resurfaced, his legacy remained untouchable. His will surprised many. Mary Austin inherited 75% of his estate, including Garden Lodge. When Queen's catalog sold in 2021 for over £1 billion, her share grew enormously.